Hi guys, on this installment of PJ Cooks Sexy Food, we're going to make spaghetti Bagna Cauda con Pangratatto, which is a spaghetti dish with the sauce that's made with anchovies, garlic, olive oils, red pepper flake, and it's going to be topped with a nutty toasted breadcrumb. It's absolutely delicious and one of my favorites. So let's get started.
Okay, so the ingredients that we're going to need today is we're going to need 1 can of anchovies that I went ahead and I minced. We're going to need some breadcrumbs. This is just the center of some bread that I've coarsely broken up. We're going to need 1/3 of a cup of olive oil, some salt, some pepper, some red pepper flake, a couple of cloves of garlic, and I have a couple of tablespoons of our garlic oil that we had reserved from when we made our roasted garlic. And I have this beautiful package of spaghetti here. This spaghetti is 18 inches long. Typical spaghetti is about 10 inches, so this is a really good spaghetti for twirling. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is I want to take our saute pan. I want to add our garlic oil to the bottom. I'm going to take our breadcrumbs, which we just coarsely tore up from bread. That's just the center of it, a nice loaf of Italian bread that I had that I just tore up into nice sized chunks. I'm going to give it a pinch of salt, pinch of pepper, and I'm going to put this on a medium-low heat, and I want to toast this until it's crispy and nice and golden brown. Okay, so our bread is toasting. Let's turn our attention to our garlic and take our garlic here. First thing I want to do is I want to give it a nice little whack. Just like that. I want to give it a nice chop. Once our garlic is good and chopped, I'm going to then take it, leave it on the side. I'm going to sprinkle it with a pinch of salt, and I'm just going to let that sit for just about a minute or so. Okay, so our salt has been sitting there for a minute. Now I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to give it another little chop. What that's doing is the salt help break down the garlic a little bit. Now using my knife, I want to take it and I want to basically try to make a paste out of this garlic using the abrasiveness of the salt and the garlic. And you can see how it's starting to give up some juice and starting to soften up. So I'm going to keep doing this until I have a nice paste forms. Okay, so now we have a nice garlic paste here that we're going to use in our dish. So I'm going to take it from the board. I'm just going to put it on the side while we check on our breadcrumbs. Okay, so to start our sauce, I'm going to get our large skillet over a medium heat. I'm going to add in our olive oil and our anchovy, and I'm just going to saute that around for just a couple of minutes until these anchovies start to dissolve in the oil. So as you can see, the anchovies are just starting to melt right into the oil. That's exactly what we want. We're just going to let this go for another minute or so, just until those anchovies are totally dissolved. While our anchovies are finishing off, you can see our breadcrumbs are all nice and golden and toasted. Now we can go ahead and take these out of the pan because we don't want them to continue to cook. I'm going to put them in a bowl and we're going to just set these off to the side. So our anchovies have basically dissolved into our oil here. There's no big chunks of anchovy in there. At this point, we're going to go ahead and add in all of our garlic. And we're just going to cook our garlic just until it starts to become fragrant. Going to give it a good pinch of red pepper flake now to flavor that oil, get it good and spicy, and we'll just let this cook for just a minute or so. So our sauce is going, our breadcrumbs are made, our pasta water has just come up to the boil, so now I'm going to put my attention to our spaghetti here. I read the package, it says this should take between 8 and 9 minutes to cook, so I'm going to pull this from the water at somewhere around the 7-minute mark. And then I'm going to add the pasta directly to our sauce. You see how beautiful this pasta is, how long this pasta is. I can't wait. So the sauce is cooking for about a minute. You can see how everything is nice and golden. The oil is starting to change a little color from the pepper flake. I'm going to add a little bit more because I want it spicy today. As soon as our pasta is done, I'm going to throw that right into this sauce. Okay, so our sauce is nice and bubbly. Our pasta is cooked. I'm going to fish our pasta out of the pasta water. I'm going to put it right into our pasta here. Little falls out, don't worry, just pick it right up, get it into our pot. I'm gonna fish out all our pasta, get it in there. This pasta is a little tough to work with because this is the extremely long spaghetti. There we go. Almost all of it is in. Just a little few stragglers in the pot. Don't leave anybody behind, you know that. PJ Cooks Sexy Food, we waste nothing. Okay, so now we'll grab a pair of tongs. And we'll start tossing our pasta with our sauce. I'm going to take about 1/4 cup of our starchy pasta water. Get that in there. I'm going to throw a little over 1/2 cup of starchy pasta water. And give this a good toss. Now I'm going to take this, I'm going to keep this on the heat for just a couple of minutes. The pasta is going to throw out a little bit more of its starch. This sauce is going to get nice and thick. You can see how it's just coating the pasta ever so beautifully. This is exactly how we wanted it. And just a couple of minutes, we'll be ready to plate. So our pasta has went ahead, it drank up all the water on the bottom. You can see how it's just lightly coated with the sauce, how thick it is now. Now we can go ahead and plate. You know what? I think it looks so pretty in this cooking platter that I'm just going to leave it just as it is. I'm just going to clean up the edges a little bit. Now I'm going to put on those toasted breadcrumbs that we made over the top. What this is also known as, this is known as poor man's cheese. Back in the time when the Depression, people couldn't afford cheese. They toasted leftover bread and a little oil and they made their own just like that. And you know what? You could finish it off with maybe just a little bit of parsley just to give it some brightness. Some green. Doesn't that look good? Quick, easy, simple. If you wanted to, you could even maybe saute some zucchini. You could toss that in there with this. But this is in its purest form. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. I hope you tried it at home. Thank you for tuning in to PJ Cooks Sexy Food. We'll see you next time.